So after you made the decision to have a generator installed in your house, the main question then is what type of generator? Are you going to have a portable generator? Are you going to have a standby stationary generator? What kind of hookups you're going to have? What kind of fuel you're going to run? This video is going to be about the different types of generators and why I went with what I did and the positives and negatives of the other alternatives. So first, when you think of generators, usually that happens after a power outage, and you're going to go out and you're going to try to get the most expensive and the easiest to work with and everything else. So with that, most people go researching the stationary standby generators. Usually they run off of natural gas or propane, but there's some issues with them. One, they're expensive. You're going to be spending at least $10,000 for a whole house. They're still reliant on, if it's natural gas, you're still relying on a utility, which is usually pretty stable, but it's still there. If not, you're going to go with propane. Propane, if you don't have a propane tank, you're going to need at least 100 gallon, probably even more. And so either that's going to be outside your house or you're going to have to pay for it to get buried, so that's even more money. I had a coworker once, price went out, and when he found out that it didn't come with the propane tank, he said, "Oh, what are you going to sell me, a car without a transmission? You know, just the engine?" And it's kind of the idea behind it. So other issues with this are, if it breaks, it's there. There's no bringing it to a place to get it fixed. You have to get someone to your house and repair it. You can't buy another one in an emergency and just to get you up and running again. You have to wait for a person. Other things include, you have to now talk to your gas company to get the meter size to make sure that the meter is going to be able to supply your house with heat and this new generator. So I looked into it, and going back and forth between them, it was a nightmare. Then you have things like code. If you have a vent, like as I do, or windows, you have to have the generator, I think it's 5 feet or 7 feet, at least in my state, away from any opening. So now you have this thing where you have these long gas lines, because I was going to do natural gas, and electric lines. That's going 5 feet across from your house. So that's, a tripping hazard. You got to mow the lawn between that, but at the same time not, damage the lines. So to me, that was a problem. So other than that, they work really well. If the power goes out after 5 minutes, what would happen in the really good ones is all your breakers open, they turn off. The an automatic transfer switch transfers from utility power feed to the generator feed. As the generator is already started up, then your breakers will start to turn on one at a time usually. They call that an open transition. And your house, if you got the whole house generator, will be completely run on that generator. The other issues are, usually with these, it has to be like a 20 kW or 20,000 watt generator, and most houses, that's what they told me I needed for this house. And when I did the calculations on my house, I was only running I think 2,000 watts, and they wanted 20, so that was a little much. Other than that, as I say, if you don't want any problems, you just want the power to come on, and you're okay with this big thing that's going to be on your house forever, and you don't plan on doing anything else with the generator, I guess it's a good thing. But that's really all I have to say about the standby generators. After doing research, I found that wasn't for me, and for those reasons. So then, after that, you have a portable generator. Now, there's two types of hookups. I have probably the easiest one with the most amount of wiggle room. And with that, I have an interlock switch. I had a whole video on how to do that. I'll link it to the description, where you can run your house off that. I don't have an installation video, but that's because that gets a little too crazy. So with that, basically you hook up a portable generator to your house, and then you turn off your main and you turn on the generator panel, breaker, and then you turn on all your appliances as needed. This works out well. If I can use the generator for other things, like if friends having a party or something like that, I can put that in the back, my generator in the back of the car. If it breaks, I can put a new one in. It just gives you a lot more freedoms. I mean, the only problem is you got to wheel out this generator. Most of these will run off of gasoline. Nowadays, you can get them in 3-fuel. I got a kit to convert mine to 3-fuel. It's not a big deal. I haven't done it. I haven't ran my generator off of any other thing other than gasoline yet, but I really haven't had a need to. I only had like one power hit since I got the thing. So you have that. I say, to me, that's the best option. I can't think of really any other disadvantages other than the fact that it's not as cool as looking as a standby generator. It does take a little much to pull it out, but also you can wheel it to where it needs to be safely put. The hookup for it is like literally this big, where if you were doing a standby generator, in the other video you'll see that big blue X on the house. That's how big a transfer switch is. So you're talking like that big. Yeah. And so if you want a big ugly great box on your house, that's another disadvantage of having a standby generator. So then so then they have other means where they're a little more beginner proof, I'll say, where what they do is, usually this is for a standby generator, although portable generators will have this also. It's kind of expensive, and what they do is, like, say here's your panel, they'll put a pipe that goes to a separate panel. This is like your emergency panel, and these can either be automatic or they can be manual, where the stuff on your regular panel, that's dead when you have a power hit. But the stuff on the emergency panel, that's like your essentials. So you don't have to ever worry about overloading your generator, and you're able to, have a dedicated circuit to just that. Some advantages to that, I would say, if you're running out of space on your panel, it gives you, 6 to 10 new spots. So that's kind of cool. Other than that, what was the other one? Well, as I say, you can judge things by there, but as I say, for me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. You see, because it's another thing for a room, and it doesn't really work out all that well. There was something else I wanted to say, but hopefully, if I remember, I'll put it in the description. But that's really about it. Those are your, 2 major ways to do it. Say portable and standby. As I say, I'm not a big fan of standby. It sounds good on paper, and when you're first talking to the salesman and everything, but in practicality, it's just not that great. The portable generator, I can move around, my electric appliances, to do. I live on a big property. I can trim my hedges and stuff far away, so I don't need like 300-foot extension cords. But all right, well, that's about it. Hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, ask them, and I'll try to answer the best I can. Thanks, and have a nice day, guys. Bye.